Welcome, everyone. My name is Colleen Lemma, and this is Cards and Coffee with Colleen and Kathi. We've got Kathi Munson, my beautiful co-host, amongst the squares of people here. And we are going to spend almost the next hour here talking to you a little bit about messages from the collective. We'll try not to spend too much time on those collective messages because I know that you want to get into some of the personal mini readings. So Kathi and I will just use our intuition. Spirit leads and guides us to who we choose for those readings. Again, remember that anything that's said here can possibly resonate and give you some guidance as well, even if you don't get chosen. So let me just introduce myself really quickly. If again, you're first timers, I know a lot of you know who I am already, but again, Colleen Lemma. My website is Sacred Soul Empowerment. My meetup page is Sacred Soul Empowerment. My YouTube channel is Colleen Lemma, sorry. And I am an intuitive reader. I use professional astrological information and your name vibration, and was certified in Akashic record readings, tarot cards, divination cards, the clairs, and kind of connecting with your angels and guides to bring forth readings. I am also a healer. I do Reiki healing. I'm a Reiki Master. I do past life regression and higher soul self communication as a certified hypnotherapist, Ho'oponopono healing, and I teach a lot of classes and workshops and events and guided meditations. Most of them are online through my meetup page is where you'll find most of that. Sometimes actually, there's a center here in South Carolina where that is some live events are taking place as well. So again, welcome everybody. I'm going to hand it over to Kathi to introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. I again apologize for being a little bit late. So we'll just say that right up front. Not my MO usually. My name is Kathi Munson. I have been on this path. I'm a psychic medium, also a Reiki Master teacher, and have been on this path for 23 plus years. I also do some of what Colleen does. My website is intuitivecat.com, cat spelt with a K. Soon to be changing. So, but for now, that's what the website is. My business name is Voices of Enlightenment. I am a mentor, intuitive mentor. I also do intuitive coaching. I do past life regressions as well. I also do obviously higher multidimensional healing, shifting and changing your life to a new perspective. Obviously, readings, psychic and medium readings, whether it's living people, pets. I'm also an animal communicator. I have a lot of tools in my toolbox, is what I usually tend to say, and very blessed and honored to do what I do. I'm very blessed and honored to be here and connecting with all of you today. So thank you so much for being here on this lovely Mother's Day,
Yes.
because we're all mothers, even if you're not technically a mother, even if you're a man, you're still a mother. We all have feminine and masculine energy in our system. So it's going to be a glorious day. So for that,
Absolutely.
I will pass it back to Colleen.
All right, so let's give you some general messages for the collective. So when I was meditating, tuning in, of course, as an astrologer, we all, or most of us probably know we have a full moon tomorrow, right? And this full moons are about healing and releasing and letting go of energies, situations that we no longer need to carry or hold on to. And the sign of the zodiac that this full moon is in Scorpio. So it's a really deep one. It's intense. It's very feeling oriented because it's a water sign. And because it's so deep and intense, we're clearing on a magnified level a lot of subconscious patterns or old subconscious stories. We might be healing, transmuting, releasing situations and circumstances out of our life that, again, are no longer aligned with our truth. Scorpio rules power. It can rule power and control, but it rules disempowerment versus empowerment. So, this is a time for us to, again, release what we no longer resonate with so we can empower ourselves into our truth. Um, and when I looked at the astrology of the upcoming week, of course, doing my weekly YouTube reading, I had to remind myself what the energy was all about. But all next week is pretty heavy duty of clearing things on a mental body level, especially, and maybe some surprises, I guess you could say. We've got Uranus sort of during the week in the mix, and Uranus is known as the Great Awakener, and he brings surprises and unexpected circumstances and situations. So there's a lot that's transpiring in the next week to help us with this clearing. And when I pulled some cards for the collective messages, I was getting that this is really time to consciously to pull cords. Like you can call in Archangel Michael to pull cords, and that could be on an emotional level, mental level, spiritual level, physical level. If you're, let's say you're in a job or career that just doesn't resonate for you anymore, you can pull those cords to that physical thing being your job, to release that and let that go. But they were also talking about, especially like removing the masks that we wear, like not being your true and authentic self, not being in your power to be your true and authentic self. So we need to pull those cords, we need to remove those masks, and we need to open ourselves to our higher self, or we need to open ourselves to our highest and most authentic spiritual self, is what they were showing. They were saying we're getting signs in our dream time. So some of you may have been having more dreams lately that might be either clearing, purging, healing dreams, or might be some sort of prophetic information kind of leading you and guiding you to maybe some of your next steps. They were also talking about this being a high time of manifestation. I don't think just about the full moon, but I think in general, we are in Taurus season, at least for a few more days, where the sun is in Taurus and Mercury is in Taurus. And pretty soon, Venus will be in Taurus as well. Mercury rules our mind, our thoughts, our ideas. Venus rules love, relationships, money, and finances. So it's a great time to focus on manifesting what it is that will help you get to your next step, what your truth is, what would bring you happiness and joy in life. So, we all want to be in happiness and joy, but we have to really, again, remove some of those old stories and energies that are weighing us down or holding us back from being in our confidence and courage to move towards that truth. They were talking about people being a little, it's funny because I got two cards from two different decks that kind of showed that people were kind of lost and confused. So we have this confusion card, and we've got this signpost with signs going in all these different directions. It says known, unknown, past, future, maybe, So we're kind of in this time period of, I don't know. I don't know who I am. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing anymore. I don't know which way I'm supposed to go, what decision to make. The other card that resonated with that was Lost Compass, where we again feel a little lost right now. But the message at the bottom of this one is especially important because it says getting back to integrity. So again, being your true and authentic self and getting back to that place where you're living out of integrity, who you are, out of your heart. Um, and when we live out of our heart and we live out of our truth, sometimes again, we have to sever old ties to situations, maybe even people, aspects of ourselves that again are no longer aligned with our truth. And sometimes that can be a little bit difficult because when we first do that, we're left again with this confused kind of feeling like, okay, I've just kind of released all this energy. Now I'm kind of empty in a way. You're not really empty, but you feel a little empty because all these things have now been cleared. And you're like, okay, well, now what? What is next? And so as long as that next step, that next thought, that next emotional expression comes out of a place of integrity and from your heart, this is what's going to lead you to the new. And then the last message, well, this one kind of goes with that message. They were talking about us having kind of a foot in both worlds, the past versus the future, or the earth plane and how we've been normally operating. And then the other foot is in this kind of higher dimensional plane of where we want to be going as a spiritual soul or where we want to see the world be. And so there might be this again one foot in and one foot out kind of thing where we're kind of vacillating. They almost said between timelines. So they were talking about vacillating between two timelines, right? Um, the one that we've been used to living on, and then this higher, this ideal and this place of peace that we want to move into. Um, and then the last thing was just to be in your, what do I want to say? Again, going back to confidence, courage, and leadership, stepping into your strength, stepping into your truth. Now, Taurus is grounded and Taurus is patient. So we might have to be a little bit patient as we're making this kind of transition in our lives and within ourselves. But know that you're going to a place where you are like the magician. You are the creator of your own reality. And in that sense, we're taking the bull by the horns in this case, because we're in Taurus, the bull season right now. We're taking the bull by the horns, but with patience, we're moving ourselves into where we want to go. And part of that is to take charge of your life, take responsibility for the changes you want to see, and eventually to make movement towards that. I think we're going to see more of that towards the very end of this month, going into June. By then, we'll be in Gemini season, and there's going to be a lot more ideas and mental activity and communications and networking going on. Right now, it's kind of this, it's more of a quiet, grounded, embody your energy sort of time period with Taurus. All right, so that's it. I'm going to pass it to Kathi.
It's interesting. I can understand a lot of what Colleen was saying because I got very similar messages. When I was meditating earlier before the surprise, when I was meditating
Hmm.
earlier, the very first card that I had that came up was transformation, which we know this year was going to be all about transformation. And I know that May, at least for what I was getting, again, I'm not an amazing astrologist like Colleen. Um, but I'm a very intuitive and watch my clients and I watch the cycles and the connectedness between everyone. And of course, definitely have listened to my guides 24/7. Some of the things that I was getting is that this is a time for transformation. I'm seeing a lot of people who are exactly what Colleen had mentioned. I thought I was going in this route. Now I don't know. I don't know who I am. I don't know what's going on. I know I'm a healer, but now I don't know what to do with that. A lot of questions, questions, questions. And I've been hearing patience a lot, which I know we love when we're in a patience time. So I'll just say that. It's almost like a swear word. It's like, oh, it's the P word, because we don't do well with patience when we can feel movement coming. And that's it, is we can feel that energy around us, knowing that we're moving somewhere. But it's almost like, okay, I'm going traveling, but I don't have my ticket as to know where I'm going. And what I keep getting focused on is finding your voice, finding your true voice to what you want to speak in your life, grounding yourself, focusing yourself. And a lot of my guides will tell me when I get like going, and I'm so busy, 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 and all of a sudden I'll hear sit, be still, be quiet. And I'm like, right after this, I will sit and be still and be quiet. But that's a way for me to just, they're telling me to just calm down, focus, go within, listen to yourself, listen to your heart. I was also getting a lot of like intuitive journaling, like just writing down those, even if it's confusion thoughts that are in your mind, get them out of there. Because I know for me, if they're swirling in there, they're just going to keep swirling and swirling. And then we go into the vortex of doom to where now we're so in there we can't get out. I always wish there was a reverberating noise that happened when I say that. But it's a lot of just allowing yourself to truly come into the heart of where you want to be. We know that when we're looking at the universe, there's a lot of financial questions. There's a lot of what is happening out there, even like what are they thinking, out there. And what we need to do is sort of like step back and say, okay, that's what's going on out there. What's going on right here? What's going on within me? Where do I want to be? What is my part to stand and be true to myself in this universe, no matter what is happening out there? And looking at the people within your tribe is what I like to say, looking at the people that are in your tribe. And if your tribe is shifting, it's okay, because what it does is it shows you that you are shifting. You forget that you are the pebble in the pond sometimes, that you are the one that everyone sort of connects with. Like they connect with you. It's not that you don't connect with them, but it's almost like they come to you because they see your light and they connect with you. So it's remembering to stand in that power in a very grounded way, because I'll just say that, not in an ego way, and just say, okay, if a friend of mine is struggling and going through a tough time, letting them know that I'll be here if you need me. But as healers, which there's a lot of you on here, and probably all of you, um, as a healer, we always see who they can be. And so we think that we need to be there and continually hold on and hold on and hold on. And it's time to sort of like allow them to go on their journey, because what we forget is that we're denying them their growth by giving them all the answers. And I know for Colleen and I, as intuitives and doing messages for people, we have to be very careful to stay that line to where, yes, I can help you because you're coming to me for a reading. I can help you in this moment, but then you have to kind of let them go and say, okay, go. This is what you need to do for yourself. Now you need to go and create that. And it can come hard, because I'm just going to say that it can get difficult. It's because I know today is Mother's Day, but I am really a mom. Like, people have called me a mama bear for a long time. So again, it's difficult sometimes to let people go because you really want to help them and you can really see who they are. And that's a lot of what our universe is doing here. We have to trust and have faith that everything is going to get straightened out as far as what's going on out there. But in the meantime, it's really important for you to create what you're looking to create for yourself. And that's the most important thing. And it doesn't matter that you don't have all the answers. You don't have to have all the answers today. You really don't. It's just stepping back and going within and saying, okay, where do I really want to be? I've been so hyper focused on finances. I want to find something that I enjoy doing, that I love waking up in the morning and going to do what I'm going to do. That's the most important thing. The money will come from that. The finances and abundance, and I'm talking major abundance, because if you love what you do, you're going to have a happy heart. You're going to be speaking your true voice. You're going to be helping those that you really want to help. And that's the most important key, is finding your joy, your happiness, so that then it can spread out. Those rings, because you're the pebble in the pond, will spread out love, joy, peace, happiness. So that's a lot of what I'm getting. I know it sounded very personal, but that was a lot of what I was getting this morning. So I'm going to again pass it to Colleen.
I just want to say one more thing as Kathi was talking and she brought up voice, and I can't remember if she actually used throat chakra, but where this full moon is in Scorpio, that means the sun is in the opposite sign of Taurus, right? And I mentioned us being in Taurus season. Mercury, planet of the mind, the mental realm, is also in Taurus. And when I talked earlier about the manifestation, they just give me a little addendum message about that, is that use your voice, use your throat chakra to speak what it is you would like to bring into manifestation, because our voice and the verbalization of that truth. So choose your words very carefully, but the verbalization is going to help to bring in the manifestation. And Kathi also mentioned journaling. And so they definitely were giving me a big yes on that. And then a little bit of a step further is that Taurus, where again the Sun and Mercury are right now, it rules art. It rules like creative art, because Venus is the ruling planet of Taurus, and Venus is a very aesthetically pleasing, artsy, harmony, beauty, color sort of planet. And so I've recently, I'm not somebody who's an artist. I can't draw worth beans or whatever, but I was guided to start kind of doing some drawing. And it was more about using the color and just the squiggly lines. I mean, again, it wasn't anything like anything that took form, but it was part of bringing something into manifestation through like a mindfulness technique and the using of the color. And so that kind of goes along with the writing, because writing is more like a physical thing. Doing this kind of drawing, if you will, is more of a physical thing. But that also can be helpful in the manifestation process, they said. Anything else, Kathi, real quick?
No, I definitely 100% agree with what you're talking about, for sure. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
No, I'm excited to start doing some readings.
Yeah,
So
so if you want a reading, there's a little hand raise kind of icon somewhere on your laptop or phone, and you can raise your etheric hand, or if you're on camera and you don't know where that button is, you can raise your real hand. Kathi and I will just again intuitively choose people to do a mini reading for. And also, when you get chosen, I'll be asking you for your date of birth, because part of what I like to do is look at the birthday energy that you're currently in, and I like to know your astrological sign, so just be prepared for that. We'll also ask you if you have a specific question or concern, or if you just want to see what your angels and guides have to say. All right, so I let Kathi choose first.
Okay. So I see people waving. I see. Um, I'm just going to ask. She doesn't have her hand raised and she doesn't have her little hand on there, but I'm going to ask her anyway because I was really kind of guided to her. And I hope I say your name right, but Tana or Tana, would you like a reading today? Was that a yes?
Sure.
Okay. I'm
All
hoping because
right.
I don't know, for some reason I was guided to you. So,
I
All
was
uh,
right.
like teetering back and forth. Yes.
Okay. So Tana, what is your date of birth?
3/29/78.
3/29, 1978. And do you have a specific question or concern, or do you just want to see what your angels and guides have to say?
I just want to see what my angels and guides have to say.
Okay,
all right.
Kathi.
So when I was focusing on you, that's why when Colleen said, "Do you have anything else to add?" I was like, no, because I was already like being drawn and focused to your energy. One of the things I was getting is that you're on this, and again, like we had kind of shared earlier, I keep getting that you're on this path, but you're sort of like almost like here, standing at the fork of the road and being like, I don't know what to do. I don't know which way to go. I would like to go this way, but it's almost like something pulls you back from going the way that you'd like to go in your life. And what I keep hearing from my guides is the fact that there's something in you that thinks that you are not worthy or deserving to find joy or to express your voice the way you want to express it. And so I keep being drawn to that specifically, and that calling, but it's so like you're so there. Like I just kind of want to be the one to be like, let me stand behind you and just go push, like go, you can fly, go. Like kind of boot you out of the nest is what I really feel like I want to do for you. I know and again, things that I'm being told is that you are a healer, you're an empath, and there's something like I almost feel like old thoughts sort of resurging is what it makes me feel like, to where like maybe when you were raised, I'm just going to use this as an analogy, but maybe you were raised and you were told you were stupid at some point, and then you hear it again, and then you hear it again, and then you're like, oh my God, I must be stupid. I can't do that because I'm stupid. You know what I mean? I mean, again, I'm not saying that that happened to you, but I'm just saying, that's what it's making me feel is like it's time for you to, and I don't mean this in a judgy way, but grow up and let it go and know that you are amazing. Like you are so empowered and are here to empower others in your vision and your view. And I almost feel like there's something that at some point when you've been trying to do what you do, so funny, they keep showing me you doing some form of healing, so I'm just going to say that, or energy work. And maybe it didn't go quite the way you had planned, but that's how they're showing it to me. And you're like, oh, there it is. There it is, even though you may have seen 10 people and they were amazing sessions. And then you saw that one person and it went awry. Trust me, an empath will always take everything personal. So I totally get it, and that just sticks in your craw where you're like, okay, I can't do this. Like, I'm not good at this. I need to just stop doing this. Does that make sense to you? Because I can see you somewhat
Yes, it
nodding your
does.
head, but not really wanting to admit it. So we're
Yes.
calling you out of the
Yes.
closet today, girlfriend. Time to be
Yes.
empowered.
All
It's
of that makes
Mother's Day.
sense.
Woo-hoo. Time to be empowered and go, go, go. So yeah,
All of that makes sense.
go. You have an amazing idea of where you want to be. Go. Do like Nike. Just do it. Just do it. I always say to myself, what's the worst thing that could happen? Like I'll say to myself, I'm a big one, especially from a few years ago. I always make like I won't say New Year's resolutions, but I always say to myself, you know what I'm going to do this year? This is what I'm going to do this year. Or I'll create a plan of things that I want to finish by the end of the year. I'm going to give myself a year. Like really I should probably narrow it down a little, but for me it works. And I'm able to do that. Well, a few years ago I said I'm going to walk through fear. If any opportunity comes to me in my business, I'm not going to think about it. I'm just going to do it, and I'm going to walk through fear. And so I've kept that and have continued to work on that because as an empath and a healer, oh yeah, you think Colleen and I have got it all? Oh no, no. We put our pants on one leg at a time, just like the rest of y'all. And we go through our own stuff just like the rest of you. So yeah. We have things that happen too that we're like, oh, I don't know. Should I? Shouldn't I? Should I? Shouldn't I? You have an amazing idea. I think you should go. And there's something about you writing a book, like starting to write down some of your thoughts, your feelings, your expressions, things like that. There's something about you starting to just, even if you want to call it a journal for yourself, a gratitude journal, but they want you to start writing. And I feel like you did at one point and then you stopped. So I feel like you need to get back to doing that again. And it's a lot of, and I can say this about myself, I was raised in a family where I had no voice.
Mhm.
Look at me now. And I chose my family because they could empower me to do what I needed to do. And that's what I want to say to you. You have an amazing voice. You're here for your voice. You can start singing if you want to, but but I really think that you're here to help a lot of people through your words and your wisdom and your healing because you're a healer. Do you do energy work?
I am trained in Reiki, but I'm also a massage therapist who is also trained in cranial sacral and energy body
Oh,
work.
love it. I was just going to say because I feel
So,
like you need to expand, like go on the energy and keep expanding.
and
Cranial
that's
sacral. I
where it's
love
like,
cranial sacral therapy.
yeah, it's kind of like woo woo. And I live in a part of the world that
We're
is,
not happy unless we live in woo woo. Come on.
and
I'm a
so
woo
that
woo
is who
team
I am.
girl.
It's
I'm all
yeah,
in. Give me more woo woo is what I keep saying. Give me more. Like I'm like an addict. I'm a woo woo
yeah,
addict. Hi, everybody. My name is Kathi. I'm a woo woo addict. Thank you for having me here
I
today.
love it.
Yeah. So go, go, go. And I do feel like massage, you'll always have some techniques that will blend in, but I feel like you're going to expand on, I feel like energy is your thing. So cranial sacral makes therapy, I mean, makes therapy, makes clearly that's where you're meant to be. But there's something that's coming for you. It almost feels like multidimensional healing, but it's going to be your version of that. The other thing too is one more thing, and then I promise I'll stop. Because I'm like on a trek now. One more thing is you've got to reconnect. Like they've been talking to you, and you're like, nope, I'm shutting you down. It's almost like those people that you like the people around us that we don't want to listen to. That we're kind of like, oh, okay, and you're just going, oh, thank you so much, bye bye. You got to reconnect. They have so many things, and you're going to learn a lot from them. Like even new techniques for you to expand on will come through spirit. And then you can call it whatever you want to call it. They'll probably tell you what to call it, to be honest. But yeah. So
There,
thank you so
is there
much.
anything? Is there
Go ahead.
anything that I can do to help with my throat chakra to start being able to use my voice more clearly?
They show me you writing it, so then it becomes clear to you. And then you won't mind pulling it out. It's a lot of time because I work on a lot of people. I mean, I don't just do readings, I do energy work for people. And if there's something that comes to me when I'm working on somebody, I'll always say, if there's something I feel like it's a little too personal, maybe like, why am I getting this? I really don't need to know this, is what I'm thinking. But I'll say to them, open the door. If I'm meant to share this with the person I'm working on, open the door. And then you'll be sitting across from somebody because they always want to know, what did you get after you work on them? They always want, again, chakras, muscles, we get the same thing. I'm not a massage therapist, but I am an energy worker. Um, and so, I'll tell them, and then all of a sudden they'll say something, and I'm like, there it is. And then you're able to just have this beautiful conversation. It'll just flow. Because again, you're a channel. All of this does not come from me. What I'm telling you does not come from me. Maybe the sense of humor comes from me, but, but, um, but what's coming through me, I mean, again, that was my experience of what I do. So clearly that's me, but it's me working with spirit. It's me working with them and being the channel for what comes through. And that's you. See, your kitty agrees with that. Yet another validation. So yeah, I'm going to pass it to Colleen so that you can connect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Kathy. So, Tana, is it Tana or yeah, Tana?
Hannah.
Okay, Tana. You come in with an energy that is highly creative, and I had to giggle. Kathy mentioned it way more than once. And one of the cards I pulled for you was this person writing. Like they're in a journal here and they're writing something. So definitely, you're very creative, and I'm not going to say it's just in the way of writing. But your energy, your soul comes in with this creative self-expression that needs to come out, this sharing of your voice or your thoughts, your ideas. So again, journaling, getting something down on paper, even if you're just journaling for yourself, your own thoughts and feelings right now, is going to be specifically helpful. But I wouldn't be surprised if at some point in time you author something, or you're going to be working on a book, a blog, or something, or teaching. This could also be teaching verbally, sharing your ideas with other people. So you definitely have that going on with your kind of soul vibration. You also have this special gift of working, I want to say, with other people. Maybe more so one-on-one. Now they're saying groups too. So I feel like you can work with groups or you can work one-on-one. Now you are an Aries, and Aries is a self-starter. They're independent, they take charge, they're confident. They are the go-getters in the zodiac. It's time to initiate something. However, they were talking to me about something in your life. They weren't quite telling me what it was. I don't know if it was a situation, a circumstance, a relationship, or whatever, but they were talking about this time of like completion with something, the ending of something, you know, metaphorically graduating from something. So there was something coming to a close. And also, you just had a birthday not too long ago, and they're saying last birthday year was kind of like trudging through something. The P word of patience was like a mantra for last birthday year. This year, it's change, it's redirection, it's something new people, new opportunities, new things. But you might not quite know what the new is, or what the change is, or how to get there. It's like that card I showed with the signs that were going in all these different directions, like the confusion of which way to go or what to do next. So whatever this was that came to completion kind of brought you in this place of, I don't know now. And they were saying in my meditation that there is like a plan. There's like some sacred plan that you can't yet see. There's just the littlest bit is like above the surface, sort of like an iceberg. It's like that little bit is above the surface, but there's this whole big stuff beneath the surface of the ocean that's still yet to be brought up and shown out to the world. So there is definitely a plan, and they talked about the power of intention, which goes back to the writing. And then when Kathy was wrapping up with that and the journaling and the writing, I heard them say, because you asked the question, how can you like heal your throat chakra? And I heard them say to sing. Now, we're not saying that you're the best singer in the world. I don't know if you are or not, but that doesn't matter. But yeah, it doesn't matter. They're saying like in the privacy of your own home, or the privacy of your own room, you play a song that you really like to hear. And if it's not a song where you're actually singing words, I've been like putting on mantras, for instance, or I've been putting on Native American chants, which is not in words, but just Native American chanting. So as you're kind of singing and using the voice through that modality, and I felt like music had to be involved, because they were showing me music, which could be another one of your gifts. I don't know. But the opening of the throat chakra can be done through that as well. The pen to the paper, yes, it's like your thoughts are manifested on a piece of paper. That's the words. But if you open your mouth and you sing or chant or hum, even just humming, but it's audible, that's going to help to open your throat chakra. In fact, going to the artistic thing, whether it's the writing, the drawing, the singing, or it could be anything artistic, creative, could be cooking, it could be crocheting, it doesn't really matter. And it doesn't matter how good you are at it or not. But they said to start doing some of those things, because that's going to open up the inspiration again that you already have, because you come in with this creative self-expression. That's who you are. But again, whatever this was in the past, where they said you had a hard time letting it go, like there was a major like attachment to something or someone or a way of being or living or something, and you had a hard time letting it go. And so there's been a little bit of a contraction of your energy field on some level. And so again, to open that up, let's do anything and everything creative. Let's skip through the park. Let's again sing off key to this wonderful song in the car. Nobody else is going to hear me. But that's going to help. They were talking about this change and transition. And as I said, you're in a birthday year of change and transition and new opportunities coming in. But it feels a little bit like you have your foot on the gas and on the brake at the same time. So it's this push pull, push pull. Like I want to move forward, but it's like I'm, maybe subconsciously putting on the brakes, or it just feels like I'm being held back and I have to have patience to move forward. And so some of that is moving through some old lessons. And they were talking about emotional self-care right now, doing a lot of self-care work and emotional self-care, which can be part of the journaling of your feelings. This is going to help maybe to ease off the brake so you can put your foot comfortably on the gas pedal and move forward. But there's definite positive things that are coming. I got the star card at the very end, and the star card is renewal, rebirth, hope in the future, moving towards your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. This is a wonderful, wonderful card. And it's like reach for the stars, right? Don't hold yourself back. Reach for the highest expression of who you are and what you can do or what you can be. Um, and it's interesting. I think I can't remember. Kathi mentioned about healer and you mentioned about Reiki. And I think Aries, and that's not the first sign I would think of to be a healer, but they do say you're like they're showing me, in fact, I pulled the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is in her emotions and she's in her feelings and she's empathic and she's intuitive. So somewhere in your astrological chart, you have what we call some water energy, right? Because water is the empathic, intuitive, nurturing, emotional, um, energy. And as far as the what, like which direction to go, what to do next, they said there's lots of possibilities. So don't limit yourself. Don't feel like I have to come up with the one thing. Like, what's the one thing or the one direction that I need to go in right now? Because I feel like there's more than one possibility. And maybe you're supposed to, this is a birthday year of exploration. So let's explore all the possibilities, all the directions, all the potentials. There's many open doors and open windows for you right now. And you could choose one, walk through, and decide, maybe this isn't for me. Come back through that one and go through another one, and it's okay. So don't feel like I have to like just choose one and move through it and there's no way back because I feel like there's a lot of possibilities for you right now. And your angels and guides are helping you to again continue to move through, heal and release, especially during this Scorpio full moon. Whatever that thing from the past was, that's completed. So they're still kind of helping you work on that. And that is what I got for you. I hope that was
Thank
helpful.
you. Yes, it was very helpful. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. All right. So I know some of you still have an etheric hand raised. Give me a hand wave if you're just on camera and don't have your etheric hand up if you do want a reading so I can see who else wants one. Okay. So I'm really drawn to, oh, where'd she go? She just shifted on me. It was Michelle. So Michelle, I think we only have one Michelle. Michelle. So if you can unmute yourself and give me your date of birth.
February 1st, 1957.
Okay. And do you have a specific question or concern or just general,
Um,
see what comes up?
yeah, I'm coming to crossroads. Retirement.
Okay. So
I don't
crossroads
know
of
what to do.
retirement and wondering what's next, I assume.
I have an idea what I want, and I want to make it happen.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to let Kathi go first.
Okay. So it's funny. You said you're at a crossroads, and my head's like,
Yeah,
yep,
I saw
yep,
you
yep,
nodding.
yep, yep, yep.
It all resonates.
And then you said retiring. I'm like retiring, but not retiring. That's how I went. So retiring literally from the job where you are clearly because you've mastered it.
Mhm.
It's time. Like it's the perfect timing for you. I do feel like there's going to be a little bit of shift where that's concerned. So I don't know if you technically like put in and know exactly when you're going to retire, but I feel like there's a shift there. Like a little time delay is what it feels like to me. So I don't know if it's like maybe you were thinking by June of this year and it kind of weeds out into like maybe the end of the year. That's what I'm feeling is it's going to be it's there. It's just it's going to
Yes.
be delayed a little.
Mhm.
But I think that's a good thing because it gives you more time to sort of like work on where you want to be and where you want to grow and evolve for you. There is so there's a couple of things that keep coming up because I always start to focus on even when Colleen's picking, I start to ask my guides, start to guide me to who the next one is. So I start focusing on like where we're going next. Or I should say they're giving me where we're going next. And there was a few things that I almost feel like in some ways you need to be empowered, but I don't feel like so much empowered, but reminded as to who you are and what you can create. And I know that what you're thinking, I don't know what you're going to create, but I know that your thinking is like, this is what I'm going to create. It's like, because my concept can only be this big right at the moment, but I know that it's going to expand into something. And it's interesting. Again, just like your retirement is going to sort of segue a little bit longer period of time, I feel like your vision of what you want to create is going to expand into the right place to where you want to be. It's like you've got the nugget, but I feel like it's like I don't know which spot to put it in. That kind of feeling to me. Um there's also something about you needing to protect yourself. Like learning deeper and I don't mean protection from like a literal person, although clearly we all need to do that. But I feel like I don't know if you've so how they're putting it to me is they're talking about learning like I work with Archangel Michael for protection for me. I also work with Kuan Yin. To me, they have a masculine, feminine energy to them. So I'm just going to say that even though the Kuan Yin is the goddess of compassion, in case I'm sure some of you probably know that. Um, but I'm telling you, any woman that can ride a dragon, I am so in. Just so in because that's who I am. So yeah. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. But they keep showing me sort of like working with your protectors, like having them shield you every morning before you leave. I also know that part of that is because of the job that your energy is started. It's almost like you're still doing the job, but your energy's like left the building. Like could retirement be today? So I'm saying if there's a way that you can make it sooner than later, I would say try to do that because divine intervention is going to kind of weed it into where the right time is for you. But I also know that I also feel like you're waiting until you retire to create what you want to create. And I feel like you literally need to be creating it now because it's going to give you the energy to get through that position to the end. Because you'll be like, okay, I just have to get through this and then I can go do what I really love to do. So it's almost like having a side hustle or a part-time job,
Mhm.
that kind of feeling. But it'll help to inspire your energy and start to regenerate your energy and start to grow your energy. But I know that whatever you're creating, you're a healer also, I'm sure, a very creative healer, which is interesting that because you're a little like Tana that we just kind of spoke to, as far as like what you're bringing. I know you're very angel connected because I'll say that. Like you're very goddess connected. You might want to work with some of the goddesses and kind of get to know them better because I feel like you've got that energy coming with you. What is it that you're thinking of creating, if I can be so bold as to ask?
I don't think I know what it is yet.
Okay, because I thought you were
Like
aware, because they're
like
telling me you're kind of aware what you want to do.
sort of a new beginning, but what do I do when I'm not working anymore? Who am I?
Right. You, what do you do for work?
I'm human resources,
Ah,
45
healing,
years, but yeah.
healing,
Employee
but not
benefits.
quite helping people the way you really want to help them.
Yeah, employee
You would have been a
benefit.
great
It does
therapist,
help.
just
It does
saying.
help people, but yeah,
You
but
would have been a
different
great
way.
therapist. But also, your intuition is kicking up also. You know that, right? Because you'll be talking. It's almost like you could do a reading for somebody who's sitting in your office. That's what it feels like
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
And so it's like starting to grow and evolve on that because you're a lot like Colleen and myself. You're very, very intuitive to where you could do readings for people if you really want to.
Mm.
But there's this amazing, it's so funny. Voices must be a big thing for all of you on here, because I'm just going to say that because I'm getting a connectedness between all of you as far as the throat and speaking your truth and speaking your voice. Because for you, that's what I'm kind of getting is it's the growth and evolution that you're going to help people to move forward to. So start taking classes. That'll be things that'll excite you. That'll be things, and again, whatever speaks to you. If Colleen's doing some classes that look amazing, I would say, well, go there. And maybe you already have. I don't know. But keep doing that, because you're gonna find like what I'm just gonna put this, because they tend to show me, and then probably Colleen as well. They show us what we know, because we can't like look at somebody else's life. They show me things through pictures of my own life. And I have a lot of tools in my toolbox. And like I said at the beginning, very blessed and honored to have them. You are very much that same inspiration. You are very empowering the way that you will share your voice eventually, and how you will help people to guide them through their lives in whatever manner that means. If it means like we can work on energy work with you today, if we can work on protection, teaching you how to protect yourself today, if we can teach you how to blah, 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 it's sort of like, and maybe they need it all. So it's sort of like, kind of roguing through everything that you know. The fact that you have not been led to this before now, I'm going to say surprises me, because I feel like you've always been just like me. I love psychics. Let me go have a psychic reading when I was a teenager. They're
Yeah.
so cool. And when my husband and I were dating, I was like, wouldn't it be fun to be a psychic? And my husband's like, no. And I always tell my students now, be careful what you wish for. Um, but again, it's listen to you. Like listen to yourself and where you want to
Yeah.
grow and go.
I have a lot of premonitions and things. Yeah.
Start writing them down, because again, I have writing is a really big thing to kind of categorize them. It's also going to help you to understand them better. So I would highly recommend, but don't hold back anymore. Do it now. Start getting on your path now, because then it's going to be a better evolution for you, because then when you're retired, you're not going to be like, okay, oh my gosh, I'm retired. What am I going to do tomorrow? I'm going to sleep in. But then what am I
Exactly.
going to do? So yeah, but if you start doing it now, it's going to weed you beautifully into where you're meant to be. And then the ending really can come for the retirement piece, because you have people waiting for you. And then maybe you'll be on here with Colleen and I doing readings for people. You never know. You never know.
Amazing.
So
Thank you.
thank you. It was a blessing. Thank you.
Okay,
Colleen, it's up to you.
all right, Michelle. Well, you come in as an Aquarius, correct?
Mhm. Yes.
And, I'll agree with Kathy. You have a lot of spiritual and intuitive gifts. But what happens with Aquarius is sometimes they don't recognize their psychic intuitiveness, because their main form of psychic intuitiveness is claircognizance, where you just get a download, you get an aha moment, you get a flash of an insight or something like that. And it's like, well, I just know, and somebody will say, how do you know? I don't know how I know. I just know this is it, or this is right, or whatever. So your claircognizance is on fire. And then they were showing me that you have done all of this before. Like you come in as a soul that has a lot of ancient wisdom and knowledge. It's a very grounded, intuitive, ancient wisdom and knowledge. It's like you've been a priestess, you've been a seer, um, you've been part of the working with the elementals. I won't say you have been an elemental, but you worked with, like, sort of like the Merlin the magician time period, right? Where he worked with the fairies and the elemental realm. So I feel like, in fact, this is the card that I chose for you, and it says prophets and ancient seers. This is who you were. You were an ancient seer, someone of the wisdom. And so again, whether you're consciously aware of it yet or not, you have all of this information and all of these gifts and talents, spiritually speaking and creatively speaking, that you come in with. But it's like a quiet presence. It's like, I don't feel like you're very like all that chatty and social. It doesn't mean you can't be social, but I feel like you have this quiet presence and this very mature presence. And you're what we would call like a wise one, having ancient other lifetimes of being, again, the priestess, the seer, the herbalist, the priestess, magician, whatever it was. And they did show me, as Kathi was saying, that you work with the angels. Two archangels came in with you that want you to work with them right now. One of them is Archangel Raphael, and so he's more of the healer. He heals the physical body, he heals the emotional body. So if there's any healing modalities that you're drawn to that you don't already know about, or if you're, let's say you're a Reiki person, maybe there's more information to add to that. So there's something about working with Archangel Raphael as far as healing. And the other archangel, I'm not surprised, is Archangel Raziel. Raziel is like the Merlin, the magician of the archangels. So Raziel works with magic and combining elements and divine wisdom and knowledge and bringing forth one's spiritual gifts. So if you call upon Raziel, he's going to help you bring forth more of your spiritual gifts for the after retirement, what comes next. Going back to your question, they were saying that you were going to learn something new, like you're going to be on a seeking journey. And I agree with Kathi. Don't wait till retirement before you start seeking that, before you start learning something new, before you start putting your toes in the water and starting to do things. But I wouldn't be surprised if you did take some classes or workshops or online, certification workshops or whatever it might be. They showed a lot of after retirement joy, contentment, appreciation for life, like really moving into embodying all of that joy energy, basically. Um, I laughed a little bit because Kathi said something about the throat and the throat chakra, which seems to be a theme for everybody. And as soon as she said that to you, I was just pulling this card that said whale song. It says resonating. And so this is about, what was yours, Kathi?
I was just shuffling my cards and throat release came out when you
Throat
said, oh, sorry.
release.
Sorry, sorry,
Yeah.
sorry.
And
And back.
and so the whale song came out. And so again, song, singing, breath. Um, it's going to help to open that throat chakra. I'm going to go back to the message I gave Tana to sing, to hum, to chant. I asked for clarification about that, even though I already felt like I knew what they were talking about. And they did give me inspiration, but it has this like cat with a,
Oh,
instrument there. So
wow.
again, it's music. It's the music and the resonation of the singing or the chanting or the humming that's going to open up the voice. I kind of think this is a message probably for everybody here today.
Mhm.
So, since it's come up a couple of times. But aside from being the seer and the herbalist and the healer in other lifetimes, they also said you were a starseed. Aquarians often are. Aquarian sun, moon, ascendant people are often from the stars, Pleiades, the Sirians, the Arcturians. There's some other race of beings out there, some other star system that you kind of come from. And they also talked about, again, from now through retirement, after retirement, you know, you say what to do after retirement. And Aquarius is group oriented. Aquarius is let's work with the group, the collective, people of like mind. How do we make the world a better place? How do we make humanity better? How do we support and heal humanity? And so that's kind of the Aquarian energy. But then they showed me this kind of sisterhood group. So I don't know if in the area that you live, like a sister circle, other women coming together, or maybe you're going to be the creator of a sisterhood group or some sort of community of like-minded people um, through various, exercises, modalities, and things like that, that these group of women, your sisterhood
Yeah.
group, are going to be able to learn themselves, embody their truth, speak their truth, empower themselves. I wouldn't doubt that you might do something along that lines. I'm not saying it has to be with a group or a sister group, but I feel like you're here to assist the collective in some way, shape, or form on how do we help make something better. And they also showed you kind of combining, because you mentioned you're a human resources person right now. They showed the gifts and talents and tools that you use in your now job or in the jobs you've had in life, that once you retire, you're going to be balancing those talents with new spiritual gifts and talents that are coming forth and that you're, grounding into your sense of beingness. And you're going to be like using both of these sets of tools to do whatever it is after retirement you're supposed to do. It's not just all, I'm going to go back to Kathy saying woo woo, right? I mean, I love being woo woo and I love being in woo woo, but you're going to take some woo woo and you're going to take some practical and you're kind of going to marry and balance the two to do whatever it is you're going to be doing after retirement. And I
I've had
feel
a
like,
little spiritual awakening recently, but I'm self-healing. I've been through some breakups and deaths in the family.
okay,
So Ho'oponopono I just discovered, and it just
yeah,
like blew my mind.
wonderful.
I
So is
discovered
that
that.
something you're feeling like maybe you should learn how to do, or that you just
I'm
found
not
it
just
interesting?
doing it, but I've taught several other people how to do it.
Okay, very
Yeah.
good.
So I
Yeah,
think that resonates with me, what you just said about sisterhood
yes,
and collective.
yes. And I feel like, though, I'm not going to say you have to be the leader or the facilitator, but you definitely could be. Like, I feel like you are here to be like, again, going back to this card, being the divine feminine, seer. And I also got this card, and you can see it's like it's a feminine energy, but it's in a fiery, passionate, leadership oriented kind of
Mhm.
stance.
Mhm.
And I feel like this is you. I feel like this is you kind of being in charge, so to speak, in a positive way, in a good way, to lead others as far as their journey, their awakening, their purpose. And, all the changes that's happening on a collective level, you're going to be guiding them through that and what that means and what that's all about. So that's what I got for you.
Wow.
That was helpful,
Appreciate
Michelle.
that. I
Yes.
really appreciate that. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. You're so welcome. Wow. I can't believe that it's already 12 o'clock, Kathy.
I was just thinking the same thing. I'm like, oh my God, what?
What happened?
I know.
Why are we in a time warp? All right. Do we have any last messages for the collective since we're kind of at time and I'm sure you want to get back to your Mother's Day celebration with your kids?
That I'm very surprised because it usually doesn't happen, but that's okay. Um, um, the fact that the throat release card came back up again when I was just shuffling the cards was really important, is to stand in your truth. I love the singing. I love being able to sing. I sing all the time. Um, so I think it's important for us to reconnect ourselves, like reconnect ourselves to the joy of the universe. Walking. I mean, it's that time of year we can all get back outside. Those of us that have lived in winter weather for a while. It's a great time to get back outside and connect with the trees and the flowers and the land of everything that's going on. And don't, this was another one that came out. I kept it out on the it's fill your cup. I love the picture of this. It's like fill your cup, but water to me, like how all the water is draining out, is about emotions. And I know we're, according to Colleen, and I can feel it too, that we're in a very emotional time. But if you look at what's in this cup, it's the crystals and the flowers and the things that are sort of pushing the emotion out of the cup. So yeah, we're in an emotional time, but it's an emotional time. It's a good thing. It's a time for us to really get to know ourselves better, to get to kind of go back into our heart and connect in that loving sense, because there's nothing more that is needed in our universe than love right now, and non-judgment. So taking those things from us, because I'm a very judgy person when it comes to myself. So I'll say that you can call me anything in the book that you want to call me, but what's in here is far worse than anything you could ever say to me. And I'm sure a lot of us can agree with that. But it's time to get past that. It's time for us to quiet those voices down so we can truly become who we are meant to be here. So, kind of talked a little bit longer than I anticipated. Apparently, it's just a talking kind of day.
That's okay. I got a couple of last messages for everybody too, but Kathy, if you want to put any contact details in the chat, I'm doing
I
that
did.
as well. Okay, great.
Somebody had asked about if I had a meetup. I did answer that question. I did put my website on there. On my website is also, my Facebook page is also Voices of Enlightenment. Because
Okay.
I had put um, that's my
Okay.
meetup page is Voices of Enlightenment.
All right.
And I did
Great.
put some of yours, and then I was going to tell you to put
Oh,
the rest.
that's
So that's kind
okay.
of
I
funny how you
did.
told me because I did put
Yep.
some of yours out there.
I just put it up there and I cut a couple of decks for a couple of last messages for everybody here. I got thought vibration. So we've been talking a lot about the throat chakra, your thoughts, putting pen to paper, speaking your truth, singing your intentions out loud. And it says resonant choices and signature signals. So know that your thoughts, your voice, your words, they're all creating your reality. And that's very important. And then I
Yes.
loved this one. This one here is the priestess card. So you're all priestesses.
Mm.
You're all part of that divine feminine. And I love it says at the bottom, how are you being called to step up and lead? How are you being called to step up and lead? So all of you, we're all here to, you know, step into our truth, be authentic, remove again old energies, the old paradigm of energies, emotions, thoughts, belief systems, patterns, circumstances that are no longer beneficial for us. And we're moving into a new paradigm. We're moving into a new sense of self. We're, again, the Scorpio full moon is helping us to rebirth ourselves. So I think that's it. It felt like there was something else, but if so, I don't remember what it is. So I want to thank everybody for taking out time on your Mother's Day. Do something wonderfully special for yourself. If you have kids or grandkids, I hope they do something wonderful and special for you. But if not, be your own mother and do something special for yourself. Nurture yourself, love yourself. Um, and if you want to join the full moon guided meditation tomorrow, that I'm going to be doing, it's on Meetup and Meetup, Sacred Soul Empowerment Meetup. So you can join that Scorpio full moon guided meditation if you wish. So thank you, everybody. Kathy, do you remember when the next Cards and Coffee is?
I do not,
All
but I can find it hopefully quick enough.
right.
Let's see.
I
We
might
do
be.
it once a month. I can tell you that. We are going to be back on here. It is. You know what, Colleen? I don't think we have one for
I
next
don't
month
think we
yet.
do either. I just looked through my calendar.
Shame, shame, shame.
Yeah, shame on us. So we will, then we'll pick.
It'll be on Meetup.
Yeah,
You'll
it'll
see
be
it
on
out there.
Meetup and we will see you sometime on a Sunday. It's always on a Sunday.
It's always on a Sunday.
But we'll see you a certain Sunday in June at 11 a.m. Eastern time for the next Cards and Coffee. And oh,
Absolutely.
remember that Kathy and I do individual as well as team readings. So if you need any further assistance, you can reach out to one or both of us for that. So
Absolutely.
thank you so much, everybody. You take care.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank you for the
glorious
blessings
rest
and
of
the
your
honor of
weekend.
connecting with all of you
Thank you.
today. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.